These are the seasoning that I'll be using for my pork belly. The most important thing is the 5 spice powder. This is a must-have. And also something with cumin in it. I'm going to use this Goya. It has cumin. Or you can just use straight cumin. So it's up to you, whatever you have in your pantry. So I'm going to measure out for the aromatics. I really like a lot of flavor. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of onion and 1 tablespoon of garlic. Paprika is for color, so a tablespoon of that. Now for the salt, I'm going to do a teaspoon of the adobo here. This has cumin. And then a teaspoon of sea salt or any salt that you have. So a teaspoon of sea salt. For black pepper, it's up to you. If you don't like a lot of black pepper, then just do half teaspoon. I'm going to do 3/4 teaspoon. 3/4 teaspoon. And for the 5 spice powder, this is pretty potent, so I'm going to go with half teaspoon instead of a full teaspoon. But if you like 5 spice powder, then you can put in a full teaspoon. So it's your flavor profile, whatever you like. And don't forget our sugar to balance everything out. I'm going to use light brown sugar. You can use whatever sugar you like. Now we're going to mix all this up and rub it into our meat. Okay, I have my pork belly. It's about 2.88 pounds. You want to wash it nice and clean. See, it has the skin. I'm going to add some vinegar. This just helps clean the meat. You know, when sometimes the pork has that porky smell. So this, put in vinegar or salt water, takes away the smell. So you want to wash it well. Scrub your skin. See if there's any hair or anything. Scrub it clean. Once you clean with salt or vinegar water, now you want to look at the hair. There will always be hair, so get a clean tweezer that you reserve for cooking. I have a pair for cake decorating and cooking. So you see this hair right here? You want to pluck it out. That's the only way to get it out, nice and easy. Pluck out all the hair. Once everything is clean, you want to pat dry your pork belly. So nice and dry. To get a nice crispy skin, you want a flat surface. So what we can do is we can trim it so it'll be flat, but that's a lot of wasted meat here. How it looks really nice here. So when I bake it, I'm going to put foil where it's uneven, and that's how we're going to lift up so the skin be nice and flat. So your meat is nice and dry. Next step is you want to score your pork belly, so that way when you don't want to cut all the way to the skin, you just want to score it, so that way when you marinate, it will go into the meat. See, you just want to score it. See how the score line is nice? And you didn't cut it through the skin. So now when you want to put some wine, you can use Chinese wine or white wine or mirin. So you want to put 2 tablespoons and just sprinkle it over your meat. What to do is put your sprinkle on your spices. Make sure you get the side, but don't get it on the skin. If you do get it on a little bit, that's okay. We can wipe it off. You see, I didn't use everything, so you know how much seasoning you need when you're cooking. Nicely marinated on the side and in between the grooves. See how we got in between the grooves? See that? See, we're massaging it in. Now we're going to move it. Put it on a nice sheet tray so that way I can see that. You see how it's sloped? You see how this is the thicker end and this the thinner end, so we have to bring that up. We're going to bring it up, so we're going to add extra foil underneath. So we can start right there. And we're going to put another piece right here. And then we're going to push it down so we can eat it. So just need one more little piece here at the end. Now you see it's more even. That's the important step. This is the important step, making sure that you have it even, so when you put under broil, the skin will pop up evenly. So now the next step is you're going to wipe down all these extra seasoning that's on the skin. You want a dry skin with no seasoning. Now you want to cover up the side or foil around a pork so that way it won't dry out when it bakes. Okay, our meat is marinated. We have the foil covering it up. Now we need to dry out the skin. You have 2 ways of doing this. If you're in a rush and you can't wait, then you can put this under a fan, blow the fan on the skin, and it will dry it out. And then we can bake it same day. But I'm not in a rush, and I like my seasoning to marinate a little bit longer, so I'm going to put this in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow we will bake it. Our pork, since the skin is dry now. It's been in the fridge overnight. Our meat is nicely marinated. To make the skin even more drier, we're going to do a tablespoon of vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, you hear that sizzling? Baking soda and vinegar. Now we're going to base it on the skin. This is from the fridge overnight, and the skin is really dry. But we want to make sure it's even drier. So we're going to base this vinegar on our skin to draw out the moisture. Meat is nice and even. If it's not, put some foil underneath to lift up the skin. And now you want to season the skin with a little salt. Okay, goes into the oven at 200 degrees. We're going to bake it for 1 hour. And if we need to bake it some more, we will. It's been 1 hour. Let's take a look at our meat. Oh yeah, looking nicely. The skin is not completely dry yet. So we're going to put it in there for another, I say 20 minutes. Okay, been 20 minutes. The skin looks really dry. Okay, the skin looks good. Nice and dry. So now you want to poke some hole in this. Some oil. Gonna brush it. I'm gonna put this back into oven. This is 25 minutes in. You can see that starting to puff up, and any part that look like this top part right here might burn. So you want to start putting a cover over it like this so it won't burn the top part. You can't really see too well here, but the crucial moment is 35 minutes in. I do take a peek once in a while, and I release the hot air because there's a lot of moisture in here. You can see it's puffing up nicely. Let's take another peek. It's about 10 minutes later. So it's still doing good, bubbling right there. You probably can take this one down. Yep. So that way it can stop popping. I'm going to switch to the broil mode now. Do broil because it's been in here a good 40 minutes already. Okay, I'm switching to the boiling mode. You see the high heat on top? And I'm going to rotate this roast. And you got to keep an eye on this. You hear all the crackling? See, this guy is crackling nicely, so I'm going to put a cover over this because this side over here hasn't crackled up yet. It crackled nicely here, but the middle here didn't, and this one's going. I'm putting a tent on this side as well, so that way I can get the middle. You see how that little section is coming up nicely now? It is totally out of the oven. And the crackle came out good. Let me tell you the reason why this side puffed up more than this side. Remember we were poking the holes, and this, I pierced the skin and we had to wipe off the excess. So when you poke the hole, you get the bigger bubbles. You can see on this side you get bubble too, but not as big because I didn't poke it through here because it was too dry. I couldn't get the fork through the skin. And this side was not as dry, and I was able to pierce through the skin, and we got nice bubble. My first time making pork belly, not bad. Only a soft part right here, but pretty much very good. So just have to watch your cover up your so it doesn't get burned. Cover your skin where, but still good. Just scrape off the black part. Got a beautiful piece of meat. Give you a close look at the pork belly. It has rested for about 15 minutes. Can you hear that? So for my first attempt, not bad. Look at that juicy meat. Isn't that beautiful? Look how juicy this is. Look at the skin. Let's taste. Incredible. The flavoring is spot on. Nicely seasoned, not too salty. And the meat's so juicy. And the skin's nice and crispy. It is delicious. So you get better as you do it, so don't give up. If your skin doesn't pop the first time, but the flavoring is amazing. Bon appetit. See you in the next video.